Hey, Brian from Garage Mall. Today I got this furniture mover set, and I specifically got this because I have it's almost a 500-pound crate on a pallet. I'll show you pictures of it. It's a stair climber, and I was trying to figure out how I can move this around. I have a small pallet jack. I mean, when I say small, it's not like your typical pallet jack. It's like smaller. So I was trying to figure out a way that I could easily move this better into my gym. Here's a picture of it. Anyhow, so you can see the dilemma that I'm in. So I got these, and I think this is going to be the solution. So that is basically your directions on how to put these together. Got some cardboard in there as probably part of your lifting pole, and this looks like this is going to be what your movers are based on. So it looks like that's probably the top, since that's kind of like a rigid plastic to kind of help you move around. And I guess they actually do come out, so they are kind of positionable to a degree. So yeah, so that's your four. Tons of screws, tons of these little plastic caps. Here's all your casters. This is part of your lifting strap. So that is basically your box. So this will come in handy, and this is pretty, as I'm knocking everything all over the place, this is pretty rugged feeling. I mean, that is I'm going to give you a top camera view. So that is not like a thin-walled tubing at all. That is actually kind of like on a thicker side. So you should be able to do some pretty good weight. You got the 3 caster wheels on that, so you'll be able to get some definite good leverage with that. And here are your casters. Again, that feels nice and rugged. So that is a hard plastic. It's not filled. That's like a hard plastic. Might even be like a rubber. Might be like a rubber wheel that's on there. And then these are some little external blocks. Let's take a quick look at this. So we have the panel, the iron plate, screws, nuts, heightening pad, stopper, nut tool, wheels, and then the lifter. So let's pour some of these out here on the desk so we can see what we got, what we're working with. Okay, so this is each little piece. I think it's going to go that way. Place the iron plate under the panel and a line of 4 screws. So you got this panel here. And then you got the cap. And then the wheels mount here. So basically you are taking the screw and placing it through the top there. And then the wheel's going to go through there. And then you are going to get your nut, and then you're going to put that on there. Kind of easier said than done. So the one thing it does not come with is a screwdriver. So I'm going to get my handy dandy Leatherman out. That has a screwdriver attachment to it, make things a little bit easier. Okay, so again, it does not come with a screwdriver, at least not that I saw in the kit. I don't see one here, so we can use my Leatherman and just kind of put your hand down on that. And then this is going to be the tool to get in there to kind of hold that nut down. And then we can screw that in pretty good there. That makes a pretty good form. And I am going to put down that little cap. And it kind of has like a little bit of a rubbery feel to it. So it looks like it'll definitely push down pretty tight. And like I said, those wheels are very sturdy. So I would not have any concerns on that moving at all. Okay, I'll put this one down. And then the nut kind of slides down on top there. Let me try a trick here. Kind of hold at the bottom. I screw this down. So that kind of Kind of helps a little bit. Let me get more dexterity with my right hand. Okay, then we'll put this tool down here to hold that in its place. Okay, so that went down pretty good. I would say I would normally grab a screwdriver, but most of my tools are pretty greasy, but I think I got this one here. Alright, this one doesn't look too bad. That Leathermans are awesome, but sometimes you just need the proper tool. So we'll just put that away and in my pocket for now. And let's get another one ready to go. Screw down through the hole. This one's a little tighter. So let that line up and down. Again, it looks like if I drop that screw in the wheel first, and kind of get it aligned, I'll start going with a screwdriver. That does kind of make that go a little bit easier. Okay. And again, we'll put this little tool in place to help lock that down. So much easier with a regular screwdriver, just so you kind of know. Alright, then we're going to put that in. And I'll put another nut down on top of it. So it's like a little bit of an assembly line you got to get going here. And like I said, it seems like that goes. That screw's being a little, nut rail is being a little more difficult. Let's try and line that up one more time. I think that's. I think we're a little bit better. Let's get this wrench down here. I think that's good, nice and tight. Alright, so that is your one mover. That's set up. And like I said, just pushing down on it, I mean, you can feel the sturdiness, and that all rolls around pretty good. Anyway, stay tuned. Let me do the rest of these, and then we'll get set up, and we'll go from there. We'll see how this works out on our nearly 500-pound crate. I think it's 160 kilograms. I think that translates to like 400 and something, almost 500 pounds. Anyway, stay tuned. Okay, so I got all four done. It took me about like 10 minutes, no big deal. So a little monotonous after you start going through the first couple. And I figured out what these are for. These are risers for the crowbar. So see how that wheel fits in there perfectly. So if you have something that you gotta like move a lot higher to get underneath, that's what those are for. But without further ado, let's go over to my mysterious crate and see how this works, lifting up the pallet, getting these underneath each corner, and then we go from there. So stay tuned. Alright, so to kind of give you an idea, this is how massive this crate is. And this is a stair climber. It's like one of those step mill things where the step continually goes around. Anyway, like I said, close to 500 pounds, definitely over 400. Haven't done the conversion. Again, it's 160 kilograms. So I guess I'll put that down, below so you can see that. But that is the size crate, and give you an idea. So let's go down. Okay, so this is the corner of the pallet, and this is one of the wheels, the trucks, I guess you can call them. And this comes in perfect, these like little stage things to get underneath it. Because if I was going to try to get underneath the pallet, I want to have enough leverage. So if I put 4 of these, and I put it under here safely, I can easily lift the corner of this up. And then I can put that truck underneath the one corner. Now you can see how it's kind of imbalanced and stuff, so I'm going to put the trucks all the way around, and then stay tuned. I'll show you how it works. Alright, this worked great. However, I really wished that there was a way that this could have had a little snap thing in here. I would even consider putting like some masking tape around here just to hold this handle in. Came loose on me once or twice. Not when I was lifting, but when I was trying to put the thing into position. No big deal. Just pointing that out. These worked great. They were super stable. And like I said, this stack was absolutely invaluable. And just to kind of give you an idea, so that is that 500 pound, almost 500 pound crate on these little roller skates. So now I can maneuver it, twist it side to side, push it down to where it's got to go. Super easy. And let me give you a shot from the wheels so you can kind of see how easy that moves around. Like I said, I have one in each corner. I think I could probably move this back out to camera view. But again, that is a 500 pound crate, and I can push it with one arm. So again, I can pull it, with two arms easy, and push it with one arm. Pretty smooth. Anyway, this will definitely help me get this into position to where it's got to go. But anyhow, Brian from Garage Hall, thanks for watching, and be safe out there.